Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my Best of Beauty 2018 video. This is coming at you super late. I haven't been purposely putting off filming this video, but I knew that this video is going to be super time consuming to film, and I thought I was going to have more time the first week or so of January to film this, and I just didn't get around to it, and I really should have filmed it while we were still in 2018, but I had my pics and everything all like laid out. I just didn't get around to filming it, so I'm sorry that this is coming at you so late, but this is actually my first year doing a Best of Beauty video, and I wanted to do one last year but just never got around to doing it. So I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna miss out again, even though this is coming at you super late. I still wanted to do this video and let you guys know what beauty products I really loved in 2018. I tried to narrow it down to like 3 or 4 products in each category so that this video wasn't 2 hours long. So it's still probably gonna be pretty long, but if you guys are interested in hearing about my beauty favorites from 2018, then just keep watching. Okay, so first up, let's talk about primers. I have 2 primers that were my favorites from last year. The first was the First Aid Beauty Coconut Skin Smoothing Priming Moisturizer. I just have a mini sample size right here, but obviously I went through a full size and I do plan to purchase another full size. I'm just trying to narrow down my makeup collection, lower my makeup inventory a little bit, so that's why I haven't gone out to purchase another one yet, but that is either my favorite or second favorite primer of all time. The second one I also don't have because, again, I'm trying to use other primers before I go out and repurchase, but will definitely be repurchasing in the future. In fact, I was at Ulta earlier today and almost repurchased this. It is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer. It is such a moisturizing primer. So good if you have dry skin. I absolutely love that primer and I can't wait to have that in my collection again. For foundation, I really narrowed it down for you guys. I have 5 different foundations to talk to you guys about. 3 of them actually are drugstore. Yeah, I really couldn't narrow it down to less than 5. So first up, let's start with my high-end ones. First, I have the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. This is like my 3rd or 4th bottle of this. I absolutely love this foundation. I love the finish that it gives. It gives a nice natural finish while still being like, giving you like the coverage of a matte foundation, but being like a hint, not dewy, but like, you just still like have that sort of natural radiance. So I really love this foundation. Will definitely repurchase this when I finish this one. This one is too dark for me right now. I have this going in my year-long 2019 project pan, and I finished up a different Born This Way foundation in my 2018 project pan. So like I said, this is a little bit too dark for me right now, but I'm still wearing it, and I will definitely be repurchasing my shade when I finish this. The other one I have for you guys is the Dior Forever foundation. This is probably my favorite foundation of all time. I'm wearing it today, and what makes me super nervous is when I went to, so I started like going through and linking all of my products already, like getting my description box ready for this video, and I don't know if they repackaged, rebranded this foundation, or if it just is no longer. That makes me very nervous and very sad. I know it looks like they just recently released a Forever Glow, which I'm obviously super interested in testing out, but if they discontinue this, I'm gonna be so sad because this is my favorite foundation ever. I just love the finish that it gives to the skin. I think it is beautiful and it's so good. Okay, then we have both the L'Oreal Pro Glow and the Pro Matte. Now the Pro Matte is newer to my collection. I think I purchased this in either end of October or in November, and I'm almost out of this. In fact, I already purchased a backup of this. I was not expecting to like this, but I wanted to see how this compared to the Pro Glow as far as like finish is concerned. And typically I don't like matte foundations, but I've always paired this with a dewy or really luminous primer and really liked it. I love the coverage that it gives to the skin, probably more so than the Pro Glow. Now I love the glow and the finish that the Pro Glow gives to the skin, even like without a dewy primer. But I love both of these. I believe at most these are like $12.99. Just such a good foundation. This would probably be my second favorite foundation, but I don't know if I would choose the Pro Glow or the Pro Matte. It would be like a super tough decision. I want to do a review video where I do one half of my face glowy, one half matte, and just like compare these two side by side on the face. Let me know in the description box if you would be interested in that video. It's been one that's been on my mind for a really long time now, but both of these are really good depending on like your preferences or your skin type. Choose accordingly, but I feel like you can't go wrong with either. And then finally I have the CoverGirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir. Now I already went through a bottle of this past year. I'm almost through this one right here, which is my summer shade, and then I have this one as a backup. It's been a little bit since I've worn this one, but I was obsessed with this summer. I literally wore this foundation either on its own every day or at least mixed in like a pump or two of this with every single foundation I was wearing. It was like this was on my face in some form or another every single day for like a solid 3 straight months. Such a good foundation. It does have SPF 20. I haven't noticed any bad like flashbacks whenever I've been wearing this foundation. I need to wear this again because I miss this. This is such a good foundation. I know a lot of people really like it, but I've also read that there's some people out there that don't. So I don't know why you wouldn't love this foundation. I love it so much. I believe it retails for $11.99. It's supposed to also be good for your skin, so that's always nice when a foundation has like vitamins and stuff in it that's supposed to be good for your skin while it sits on your skin. So I love that, and I just feel like you cannot go wrong. You can't beat the price and you can't beat the formula. I was just looking through my list and realized I didn't come up with concealers. Ooh, wow. Let me just quickly go grab, I have 2 concealers to talk to you guys about. Okay, so my 2 favorite concealers from this year would definitely have to be the Catrice Liquid Camouflage Concealer. Now I know there's not a great shade range in this, but if you can find a shade that matches you, I would highly recommend. I love the coverage that this gives. It's super thin, but also gives you really good coverage. It doesn't crease too bad. I still do set mine with a powder, but I really like this. This might be my #1 concealer at the moment. And then the other one that I really love is the First Aid Beauty Hello Fab Bendy Avocado Concealer. This one, again, shade range isn't great. I feel like they only have like 7 shades, and I feel like that's why I don't love mine so much. Like, I love it, but it's just not quite at the like tippity top because I feel like mine is a little bit more yellow toned than I typically like my concealers, but I do have the lightest shade. I just wish it was like a hint more neutral or like a hint more pink, just like a little too yellow, but still really do love the formula on this. It is a great concealer. I currently have this going in my year-long project pan, so really do love this. Just wish the shade match was a little bit better for me. Okay, so for bronzer, I feel like everyone probably says like around the same thing for bronzers. Like, I feel like you've heard this one a million times, but the Marc Jacobs Tantastic was a hit for me this year. Obviously, it's such a huge pan size. I'll probably never go through this bronzer, but it's just such a beautiful bronzer. It doesn't lean too warm or too cool. It's just like the perfect shade. You really can't go like too heavy-handed with this. So it's just a really great bronzer. I know it's really expensive, but I love the packaging. It's super luxurious, and I'm really happy that I picked this up this year. What's really funny is I was super sick actually the morning that this launched, and I remember like I didn't know it was launching that morning, and I was scrolling through Trendmood and I saw like, oh, now available on Sephora, this bronzer, and I have never jumped on the Sephora website so quickly to order bronzer because I was not going to miss out on this a second time. I was so bummed when I couldn't get this 2 years ago, so I was not going to miss out on getting this. Then I was really loving my Mira Butter Bronzer this year. I've loved this for many years. As you can tell, I hit pan on this bronzer this year. This got so much love for me this year. I'm hoping to finish off this bronzer this year. It's not in a project pan, but still, I really like this bronzer. It's another bronzer that you just really can't go too heavy-handed with, and I just think it looks so good on the skin. It's such a natural, beautiful, like sun-kissed glow. Really, again, just can't say enough good things about this guy. And then the other bronzer that I was really loving this year that I used more for contour and it worked really well for me was the Hoola Benefit Bronzer. This is an OG classic. Again, I have huge pan going on this. This was in my year-long 2018 project pan, and again, I mostly use this as a contour shade. I'm hoping to finish this off this year as well, and I have another Hoola in like a face palette right now. Either that or I'm going to end up purchasing another mini. Definitely not a full size because Lord knows I couldn't get through a mini in a year. I probably don't need the full size. So those are the 3 bronzers that I was really loving this year. Moving on to blush, I have 3 blush formulas to share with you. The first is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting blush in Mood Exposure. I just had mine in a mini. Love this blush. I actually have it on today. It's just such a neutral, natural blush that just gives you like a healthy flush to the cheeks. It's beautiful. I feel like this is one that you can't go too heavy-handed with, or you can't get too heavy-handed with. Sometimes blush is just too pigmented. It ends up getting super hard to blend out. I've used this so much in the last couple months, and it doesn't look like I've used this at all. So you could probably get the mini if you're thinking about it. Also, I love the Clinique Cheek Pop blush formula. I think it's beautiful. This one is in the shade Ginger Pop. I also have the shade Fig Pop, and I really want to pick up Nude Pop, but I also have way too much blush in my collection, so I shouldn't be picking up any new blushes this year. But this is a really great blush formula, not too expensive. I mean, I get it's still like $22, $24, but when you're comparing like Becca blushes, which are $34, and then like Natasha Denona and Hourglass, which are like $38, almost $40, this is more affordable in comparison to those. I also really like the Wet n Wild Color Icon blush. I forgot I tried that this year and really like it. But if you're looking for something even more affordable than this, I would definitely recommend the Flower Pots blush by Flower Beauty. This was by far my favorite blush formula that I tried this year. I started out with this one right here, which is in the shade Warm Hibiscus. And as you can see, I even have like some of the design has worn away a little bit. Like I was solely wearing this blush and this blush only all of like April, May. I was loving this blush, and then I recently, probably like 3 months ago, picked up the Sweet Pea shade, which I thought would be a beautiful mauve tone blush for the fall winter months. I currently have this one going in my 2019 Project Pan. The pattern has worn away just a little bit, but I'm just hoping to hit pan on this. I'd be so excited if I hit pan on this year. I also want to pick up the core one of this. Again, I shouldn't be purchasing any more blush, but this is such a good blush formula. I believe they're like $11 or $12, and I think that these are worth every penny. They might even be like $9 or $10, especially if you get them on sale. But such a good blush formula, would highly recommend. I had such a struggle narrowing down highlights too. First of all, my highlight collection is out of control, and there's just so many good highlighters on the market, but I think by far my favorite and most used highlighter of 2018 was the Fenty Beauty Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal highlight. This is currently going in my year-long Project Pan. What I love about this is you have your subtle side and then you have your like more amped up side, so you can either mix the two, or you can go in with just subtle, or you can go in with super intense. Really loved this formula. I have 4 of the Fenty Beauty highlighters. I think they're great. Ooh, this actually, this one is also like ranks right up there, but the Dose of Colors I Love Sarah E highlights were phenomenal. Now these are an intense and super blinding highlight, so if you like more of a subtle highlight, you probably would want to skip these. I think you can still get these. This one is in the shade Bathe. Let me swatch this for you. And then also Soulmate. Oh my god. I don't know if you can see this. Oh yeah. Look at that. Like that's so intense. Loved both of these. I think I used Bathe more. This was like I picked this one up and used this a ton, and then was like, okay, like I obviously need to get Soulmate too. So loved both of these. If you can still get your hands on these and you like a blinding highlight, would definitely recommend. I think they're like 28 bucks, literally worth every penny. And then 2 more that I was loving. Oh my gosh, did this highlight get a ton of use for me in the beginning of the year. This is the ABH Amrezy, I don't know, highlight. I'm so happy that they re-released this because it's such a beautiful champagne highlight. I just feel like the tone of this one is perfect. Oh, love it. I need to pull this one back out. I'm gonna do a Shop My Stash. I actually might film that today after this, and definitely need to pull this back out. This one came with me on every single vacation, or every time I traveled out of town. This came with me this year, and then this is like an OG classic in my collection. This is the original Natasha Denona Glow in shade 1. I haven't purchased her Super Glow. I want to, but I love this one as well. I've mentioned this in favorites videos before. This is just such like a nice neutral sort of highlight. It gives you like that nice wet sort of appearance. I again use this a ton at the beginning of the year, and I kind of want to pull this back out and play with this because I miss this one. I narrowed it down to 2 powders for you guys. Both are from Hourglass. The first is the Veil Translucent Setting Powder that I'm sure a lot of other people have already mentioned in their Best of Beauty videos, because this is such a beautiful translucent setting powder. I love it for underneath the eyes, all over the face, whatever you need to do. This is a great powder. And then the other one is the Ambient Lighting Powder in Luminous Light. Now you can use this as like a subtle highlight, but I like to use this to set all over my face just to give me like a nice sort of glow, especially if I'm feeling like my skin is super dry for that day. I have loved this powder. I would definitely repurchase this after I finish it. I know that these powders are more expensive, but again, I think this is worth every single penny. For brows this year, it was really just these two products that I pretty much used all year round, with the exception of a few days. The first is my ABH Brow Powder Duo in Ebony. I have hit pan and literally obsessed with this. Such a great product, such a great powder. If you just need to add powder to your eyebrows to give them some definition, give them some voom, this is a great powder. Would definitely recommend. And then also I really enjoyed the Essence Make Me Brow. In fact, I'm like using my viewfinder. This is so risky. Ooh, effed up there, botched. I'm just being weird. Okay, this is like $3. Just buy it, just try it, it's so good. For eyeliners, I just have it 2-dimension. One is a gel liner, and this should come as no surprise if you've been watching my channel for any length of time. This is the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in the shade Stomper, which unfortunately you can't get this color anymore. It's just a beautiful dark brown. This stays in your waterline all day. I have never found a eyeliner, gel eyeliner, anything that stays in my waterline. I just have super watery eyes. This stays all day. And then also, this was a find this year, and this was such a good find. This is the Essence Extreme Lasting Pencil. I have mine in the shade But First Espresso, which is again just a really dark brown. I prefer brown in my waterline. I wear this almost, this is kind of replace this because this is drying out. Like I probably need to declutter this, which just makes me like so sad. Like look how much is left of this. Like I've gotten so much use out of this. This lasted me such a long time, but this is gonna have to get decluttered at some point this year. The Essence pencil is like $2.99. It's so creamy, but it stays in your waterline all day. It's incredible. I don't know how they do it. I really don't. It is literally such a good pencil for $3. Like you can't go wrong. My two favorite mists this year, outside of MAC Fix Plus, which is just a staple that I'll always have in my collection, the Ofra Makeup Fixer Light Mist. You get so much of this, and I think it's like $16. Just gonna hydrate myself a little bit. Love this. I tried the Morphe setting spray. I like this more than the Morphe one, and then I haven't bought my Urban Decay All Nighter. I haven't repurchased that since finishing it because I've just been using this. This is really, really good. I don't know. I feel like it does help with, if you need something, if you need like longevity of wear, I'd probably go with Urban Decay All Nighter. But if you just need like hydration between makeup steps, or you know, at the end of doing your makeup you want to melt everything together, this is a really, really good mist. I will definitely be picking this up again once I finish this. You guys have to leave me some recommendations for mists that I need to try down below. I'm trying to think about which ones I want to try this year. I want to try the Scandinavia one, because I've heard that makes your makeup literally will last through childbirth if you wear that. I have given birth to a child, so I feel like I'm allowed to say that. Okay, then my other one that I love is the Catrice Prime and Fine Dewy Glow Fixing Spray. I love this one. I feel like it gives you a nice healthy glow to the skin. You do only get 1.69 fluid ounces per bottle, so I feel like the bottle goes pretty quickly, but I definitely am going to be repurchasing this one at $7.99 for a bottle. I actually almost picked this up at Ulta today, but I was like, no girl, finish this one up. You're not doing backups anymore this year. So really loved this one as well. Okay, you guys, eyeshadow palette. It was tough. It was tough to decide. And I have done some recent videos where I've done like my top neutral palettes, or like my top palettes of 2018. I can't remember what I called it. So I'll also leave those linked below. But my top ones. First, I have the Zoeva Cocoa Blend palette, and this isn't my favorite formula, but when I just need an easy, quick, simple look for work, this is the palette that I dipped into the most probably last year, with the exception of like my little mini Tarte one that I had in my project pan. I really like these two mattes. I think they're really, really good. And then sometimes I would go in with a shimmer. The shimmers aren't like my favorite. I think they take a lot of building up to get like any sort of oomph. But if you just want like, if you don't need anything like super over the top or intense, just like a basic, kind of like a basic bitch palette, this is a good one. Now I think they're 26 bucks, but you do end up paying like $9 shipping. So it ends up being like a $35 palette. I still really liked it. Another one that I love this year, I mean, really, like, it's the ABH Soft Glam. When I saw this release, I was so excited because while I love the Modern Renaissance, this color story speaks to me just so much more than the Modern Renaissance because it has like those like red brown shades, whereas the Modern Renaissance is just a little bit more pink toned. And I typically tend to just lean more towards brown, or like I just tend to gravitate more towards like browns and reds. I love this mulberry shade, and I really like Sienna and Burnt Orange Rustic. I mean, I just like the whole palette. Sorry, I always forget I have this light and I can't like really lean over it, but if you guys haven't gotten, if you guys don't have the Soft Glam palette, like, it's really necessary, especially if you like neutrals. Another palette that I've loved this year, and I hate to mention this just because it's so expensive, but it is the Natasha Denona Lila palette. And I actually like this palette more for the shimmers than the mattes. I mean, the mattes are still really good, but the shimmers are just incredible, and I think they're so fun and so unique. A lot of them have like a duochrome or a trichrome, so like they shift as like you shift, like, you know what I mean. The shimmers in this are truly like one of a kind. They're amazing. I would recommend, it's tough because I've tried like the Natasha Denona 5-pan eyeshadow palettes and they're still good, but this is just so much better. I haven't tried the Sunset palette, and I know I tried the Safari palette this year, which was all mattes. Not impressed. But I just feel like Natasha Denona is super hit or miss, so I really can only speak to the Lila palette shimmers, but they're just so good. They're so good. If you're looking to spend $130 on eyeshadow, I definitely recommend this palette. Okay, two other formulas. You guys knew I was going to mention the Dose of Colors 5-pan eyeshadow palettes. I think this formula is so good, but I would always recommend doing your eyes first if you are doing or using these palettes, just because these have a ton of kick up. It's really hard for me to narrow down which of these would be my favorite. I literally love all four of them. Obviously, you've got your mauve tones for your purple days. You've got your baked browns if you're looking for more like neutral to cool browns. I mean, still kind of more neutral. Then if you're looking for more of warm tone browns, we got the Sassy Siennas. And then finally, if you are looking for more like your red pink tones, we got the Blushing Berries. So I love all four of them. I truly think you can't go wrong. You just gotta try them. And then finally, I feel like you guys know what I'm about to say, but the Huda Beauty Obsessions palettes are so good. You get 9 eyeshadows in each one. They're so travel friendly. You can create so many looks out of all of them. They're just easy to blend, easy to use. This one is the Coral Obsessions one. My favorite one would probably be the Warm Brown Obsessions. I just recently fell in love with the Smoky Obsessions too. I think this one's really good, especially if you enjoy more cool toned looks. And then you also have my mauve toned one is behind me because it's in a project pan. But yeah, here's Warm Brown Obsessions. They're also good. I would say the limited edition ones, like the Amethyst I have, and I also have the Emerald one, not my favorite. Like, I feel like the shimmers in these just don't perform as well as the original Obsessions. So if you're trying to decide, I would choose one of the original Obsessions palettes over any of the Gemstone edition palettes. But they are, again, such a phenomenal formula. Definitely would recommend. For lips, I really wanted to narrow it down to just the ones that I used the most in 2018. And for me, that was the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea lipstick in Rum Punch, which is in a project pan. I literally wore this all the time last year. It's such a nice, creamy formula that's not going to dry out your lips, not going to make your lips look crumbly. And I just love the shade. It's just a nice neutral, leaning like brown, but still like, it's just like a nice nude. And then I actually have 2 glosses. I sort of fell in love with gloss this year. At the beginning of the year, I was not into gloss at all, and now I'm like obsessed. I love gloss. First we have the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb. I seriously like used up half of this in whenever, I can't remember when I bought it in 2018, but this is what truly made me fall in love with gloss again. This is such a beautiful lip gloss. I know she just recently came out with Fussy, which I really want to purchase. It's a beautiful like lighter pink, but this is such a universally flattering shade. I just feel like you cannot go wrong with the Gloss Bomb. You get so much product, and it's $18, but you do get a lot of product. And then finally I have the Joseph Colors lip gloss in Can You Not, which is just a beautiful neutral shade. It's super pigmented and a little bit sticky, but not like annoyingly sticky, but super pigmented. So it's not just like a clear gloss. You're gonna get like this sort of nude brown effect. I wore this all the time as well. When I finish this, which I will someday, I'm definitely going to be repurchasing this. I would definitely repurchase all 3 of these lip products. Like, they're so good. They're such favorites of mine. And after that, that is going to conclude all of my 2018 beauty and makeup favorites. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely leave me comments below letting me know what your favorite products were in 2018 and what you're looking forward to trying out in 2019. If you guys haven't already subscribed to my channel, don't forget to do so before you go. And I'm about to go to Cheesecake Factory and pick out. I hope you guys have a phenomenal day, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye.